In this video, I want to talk about the trigger. Trigger is actually an area that we define for our objects so that if the player get inside or exit that area, an event is sent to the land to do something. Here I want to show you an example. I have created a portal in here that I want if the user get inside the portal, a healing animation appears, and if the player get outside the portal, the form of the animation changes. At the moment, if I get inside the portal or exit the portal, nothing happens because I haven't defined any trigger for the object. So let's do that and let's add a trigger to this portal. So I will go to the M builder in here, and from the hierarchy I will select my healing portal, and let me do that. And if you look at that, I have in the properties I have defined 3 VFX for my portal. One VFX is the portal animation that is showing by loop, and the other VFX is the healing animation that I want to show to the user if he or she get inside the portal. And the other VFX is another animation that I want this to be appeared as soon as the user get outside the portal. So let's do that. If you look at that, for this animation I have defined an event called the heal exit. So the receiver of this animation is heal exit. So if I have a heal exit event in my land, the VFX tree will accept the heal exit and shows this animation. And the other one, the VFX2, has heal enter in its receiver. That means if I have a heal enter event in my land, VFX2 will receive this event and shows this animation to the user. So let's do that. I need a trigger. So I will go to the add components, and from the object list I will add a trigger. And if I open the trigger, you can see an area in here, and that's the area we should define for the user to enter or exit. And at the moment, if you look at that, the shape of the trigger is like a box, and we have some box size so that we can define the dimension of the trigger, and we can change the shape to the sphere. And for my example, I need a sphere, and I will set my sphere to 2.5. I think it's a good radius for my sphere. And if you look at that, we have some receivers. Some receiver is for making the trigger enabled, or some for making the trigger disabled, but I don't need them because I want my trigger to be enabled by default when I enter the land. So I will make them empty. And the target is main player. At the moment, we just accept the main player for the target to enter or exit. And we have 2 sender in here. One sender is when the user gets entered this area. I want, if the user gets inside the area, the heal enter event is sent to the land so that my VFX2 accept that event. So I type heal enter for the trigger enter events. And there is another sender for exiting the trigger. I want by exiting the trigger, the heal exit is sent to the land so that VFX3 accept the heal exit and shows its animation to us. So I will type heal exit. And I should mention that you don't necessarily need to define heal enter or heal exit for your trigger. Sometimes you want, if the user just enter your trigger, something happens, and it doesn't matter if the user gets outside the trigger. You don't want to define anything for exiting the trigger. And sometimes you want to define if the user exit from an area, an event is sent to the land, and it doesn't matter if the user is in the trigger. So it doesn't necessarily need to define for both of them, but for my example I need both. All right, let's go back and save our work and get outside the builder. And if I get outside the builder and if I go to the portal, you can see when I'm in the portal, the healing animation appears. And let me exit the portal. You can see When I exit the portal, another animation appears. And that's how trigger works. Alright, I think it's enough for this video. I don't want to make it longer. Have a good time, good luck.